Banksy is the most well-known graffiti artist in the world, even though he has never revealed his true identity. Quirky and political, his work has satirized oppression in Palestine, hypocrisy in politics and capitalist greed in London. His spray-painted images are illegal but still create newspaper headlines and sell for six-figure sums in galleries around the world. How has the world's most famous vandal become the darling of the art scene? Banksy's home city of Bristol has enjoyed a vibrant history of graffiti writing. As a teenager he began doing graffiti in his hometown, Bristol. As part of the Dry Breads crew, he adopted the name Banksy to protect his identity. Choosing a tag or graffiti name was common in this subculture to brand work and to avoid arrest. This is the name that he has stuck with since. The Bristol street artists adopted graffiti-style pseudonyms and painted in collaborative groups or crews. Witty and subversive, these new Banksy works targeted political hypocrisy and social injustice. In a 2001 Herald Scotland interview he summed it up: "There is a side of my work that wants to crush the whole system, leaving a trail of the blue and lifeless corpses of judges and coppers in my wake, dragging the city to its knees as it screams my name." Then there is the other darker side. Moving to London, Banksy became involved with a new circle of friends and collaborators who helped increase his public image and recognition. His stencils of rats and chimps appeared around the city, gaining the attention of the national mainstream press. While in London, Banksy honed his political ideas, particularly his views on globalization and corporate greed, which became more evident in his work. At the heart of his newer pieces was the idea of brandalism, a combination of brand and vandalism borrowed from US punk culture, copying the techniques and language of advertising through slogans and simple images. Banksy's work appeared in clever public locations and attacked brands from Tesco to Nike. Each new work became a newsworthy event, and the myth of Banksy as a masked, anonymous Robin Hood-type character poking fun at the powers that be began to emerge. By now the biggest name of the British graffiti scene, Banksy expanded his sights and targeted the art world as his next venture. Shunning traditional galleries, Banksy hosted exhibitions of street art in unusual locations such as abandoned tunnels. Harking back to Black Rat's attacks, graffiti attacks on the Paris art world, Banksy took art out of what he saw as stuffy galleries and into the forgotten, seedy places that the art world ignored. When you go to an art gallery, you are simply a tourist looking at the trophy cabinet of a few millionaires. Banksy wanted art to be available to everyone, continuing his use of public spaces to display his work. He chose one of the most controversial walls in the world, in 2005, to comment on Israeli involvement in Palestine. Banksy traveled to the Middle East and targeted the West Bank Wall. His satirical stencils criticized Israeli militarism and oppression. The works provoked fierce debate in the media over whether a wall judged to be illegal by the International Court of Justice could in fact be vandalized. Banksy described the wall as the ultimate activity holiday destination for graffiti writers. By the mid-2000s, Banksy was becoming a celebrity and his work was selling for huge amounts of money. By 2008, despite the global financial crash, a Banksy vandalized version of a Damien Hirst painting sold for over $1.8 million. High-profile art collectors and celebrities spend thousands to own a Banksy. Among the rich and famous, designer Paul Smith, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are known to be Banksy collectors. After claims that his success meant that he had sold out, Banksy said, "I love the way capitalism finds a place, even for its enemies. It's boom time in the discontent industry." Back in 1985, graffiti artist King Robbo painted one of London's earliest pieces in a well-known tunnel in Camden. By 2006, the piece had been heavily abused, scrawled, sprayed, tagged. The original was barely visible. December 2009. Enter Banksy stage right. Suddenly there's a worker spotted wallpapering up the graffiti. Robbo is outraged and the battle begins. Reminiscent of the ridiculous East-West Coast rap battles of yore, the move stirs up conflict between street art versus graffiti. The 25th of December, 2009. After a multi-decade hiatus, King Robbo strikes back on Christmas Day. Insulted and rejuvenated, the king is back and he's pissed. The media machine starts to salivate. Graffiti folklore about an encounter in the late 90s between King Robbo and Banksy emerges. The details are hazy, but apparently when Banksy was introduced to Robbo, he claimed he had never heard of him and had no idea who he was. Legend has it that Robbo delivered a stern backhand to a then unknown Banksy, proclaiming, "You may have never heard of me, but you'll never forget me." 2010. A few months pass and Banksy finally retorts. Curious onlookers perk up. This is going to get spicy. 2010. Fade to black. An anonymous third party enters the fray and blacks out everything. Could be the city council or perhaps someone just stirring the pot, or trying to end the pettiness. Who knows? July 2010. King Robbo strikes again. Everybody wins. 2010. A sad trombone is heard in the distance as another all-black intervention appears. Onlookers collectively shake their fist at the sky. January 2011. Banksy returns with a head-scratching goldfish piece. Some kind of living room that nobody knows what to think of. At least he incorporated the decrepit chair. The 2nd of April, 2011. With his career again in the spotlight, King Robbo suddenly and tragically sustains a life-threatening head injury. Sadly, it was only 5 days before his exhibition at the Signal Gallery, Shoreditch. Team Robbo, the sellout tour. He is believed to still be in an induced coma and conspiracy theorists have run amok as to the cause. But the official word is that it was an accidental fall. Battle aside, we all hope he recovers. November 2011. Banksy throws up an ode to King Robbo's original, a single, flammable spray can displayed as a vigil. As with all art, the interpretation is left to the viewer. The 5th of October 2018. Auction house Sotheby's sold a painting by British graffiti artist Banksy for $1.40 million. Banksy explained that he had secretly installed a shredder in the frame of the painting.
Okay, it's the Banksy Girl with Balloon.
The piece was a copy of one of the artist's most famous works, an image of a girl releasing a red balloon, and moments after it was sold, the painting self-destructed, shredding itself while onlookers watched.
And selling for $860,000. Yeah, if you could maybe get one of the technicians quickly to go and take it over there, that'd be great. Quickly, okay, we're moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on here. Sorry for...
Titled Girl with Balloon. To destroy it if it ever went up for auction. The anonymous artist is known for creating satirical and subversive political art, and by shredding the painting, he essentially turned the auction itself into a work of art. As Picasso in an Instagram post. The urge to destroy is also a creative urge. Banksy's works, such as the surveillance spoof Spy Booth, are now being targeted by a new generation of rival graffiti artists. He has become a brand in himself, and for some younger graffiti writers Banksy is fair game. The mischievous, anonymous outsider taking shots at the establishment is now a part of Britain's art scene. Councils are quick to restore and protect works that previously they would have scrubbed away as vandalism. He has kept his identity secret for years and built a cult around his name. He still manages to walk the tightrope between maverick and mainstream, but how long can he maintain that position?